everyone.
Hey guys, Leah Michelle. It is March 18th, 2017. This story's been around for a few days.
Just a couple days. It turns out that there is a former mother now turning a father, and a former son now turning daughter. So they're transitioning together. This is mom, original mom, and this is son, original son. Now, if you are transgender, we're going to go through a series of videos here talking about gender and talking about homosexuality and frogs, things like this. Don't get turned off. These are, we have to bring these things to the light and forefront and question. And I think that if we just dive in and say every single person who has some sort of gender dysmorphia is born that way and we need to put them through surgery, we don't do those people justice.
Right.
So I think that if we look at it as a bigger picture, this is not
I think it's a societal picture that we're addressing.
Remember that when you watch a commercial, you see other people do things. Sometimes you might be led to do things that aren't you.
Right.
Right? Kids
like buy that
especially.
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You know, you see the Lamborghini on TV and you're like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm buying the Lamborghini.
So especially don't want to offend any of the gay people or transgenders that are watching us right now. I think that there might be a bigger picture that we need to look at and see that there might be like mental disorder in some people. Like, here's the thing. It's not to be taken lightly to go and cut off your hand or go cut off your foot.
It's a very big deal to make this transition. It's not like just getting a tattoo.
Exactly. And what concerns me the most, and what I want to, this is kind of our
I think this is where we all can agree on is
making it cool and making it cool.
Right.
It's the thing to do now. There's a girl, was a young boy becoming a girl, and his name is Jazz, and he's on People magazine, and this particular young boy girl saw Jazz and said, I want to do that.
Right.
And then once he did that, then the mom wanted to change. So had they not gone through those stages, remember, this particular young boy decided he was a girl before he got the testosterone, before he changed into puberty.
Right.
And so and
that's what makes it so dangerous, and that's why that's really where
you don't
we
really
want
know
to,
what a boy and a girl is until you've experienced. Just because you want long hair and makeup, that does not make you a girl.
There's a reason why, and I hate to bring it back to the blasé-ness of a tattoo, but there's a reason why it is illegal to get a tattoo as a teenager. It's because you don't really know.
Right.
You're not sound-minded enough to make life-altering decisions, such as having a permanent thing on your body, or because what happens when these young kids are put through these processes of the hormone changes, that will literally affect their body for life.
Right.
Okay, it's a very big deal to be, and not just their body, but their emotions and their their psychosis. It's just kind of a very big deal to be messing with these sorts of things until you're an adult.
So you have this all over the media now. This is a new cover girl boy, okay? The new cover girl for makeup, one of them is a young boy. So you've got Time magazine coming out with Beyond He or She. And I think that there is an agenda. And some could say it's a depopulation agenda, and absolutely. I am 100% in that camp. I know that for real, that if the more homosexuals there are, the more transgenders there are,
the less people you will have.
And there is a literal overpopulation scheme. They really have the population bomb in the 1960s. There are people, elites, who don't want you to be here.
Well, and actually, we usually have several viewers who, I love you anyway, but you actually have bought into the lie that the earth is overpopulated. And we could go into and debunk that in another segment, and we probably will. But it's a lie. You just need to know that. It is a lie. The earth is not overpopulated, and there are people that are pushing that lie.
There is anything, we're taking too many resources per person.
Exactly.
And we could hit that. Let's scale back on our resources per person, and then let's see.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's always so interesting that they like to go into third world countries and depopulate them first. That's so racist.
Oh my gosh,
like
yeah.
Africa.
It is ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Okay,
and they're
so
doing it.
behind me is this is the gender unicorn, and
If I'm not mistaken, this is Common Core.
It's in different schools across the nation.
So it's not in Common Core, but it's kind of being...
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Particularly, it's in Canada as well, and this particular unicorn, it's in a lot of Western countries. Sweden has seen a huge rise in transgenders, and there are two narratives that you can take. One narrative is we're seeing a huge rise in people finally discovering who they are. But what I see behind me is just a mass confusion.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? Because you've got this, obviously, when we talk about the pedophilia, we don't recognize that we can put two and two together, that there are people in schools, in hierarchy places, and they have plans on how to sexualize children.
Right.
Children are a girl, they're girls and they're boys. And then when adolescence hits, then obviously they get sexual organs, right? And what's happening is when you show a child who does not have these sexual organs, it's sexualizing them in their minds, confusing them, thinking that with the push of girls being able to girl power, boys don't really have much left right now. And so if they want to stick out, if they want to be special, then they can be special as a girl. And this is what feminists have done to young boys, is to tell them that you're not special. So I could look up like all these shirts that say like girl power, girls are awesome, girls will change the world, the future is girls, over and over and over again. And so if you're a little boy,
yeah.
what does that mean for you?
You're not special. You're not changed. There's no boy power.
So there's a new thing where feminists have said, okay, little boys, you can come join us if you're transgender. If you grow your hair out, if you curl it, if you get a lisp, then you can come be part of our feminist movement. Otherwise, boys, you're not allowed in the girl club.
We've had a lot of people ask us, I don't understand why you guys hammer the feminist movement so wrong. What is so wrong with saying girls are great and yada, yada, yada? What the feminist movement has done, they have literally said that to be a male is a bad thing.
They say being a girl is better.
Right.
They don't make it equal. They don't say, man, being a guy is awesome, being a girl is awesome.
It's just like women are everything and men are allowed to be put down. They're allowed to be ridiculed. They're not special. There's nothing special about being a boy, especially a white male.
You see all these commercials where girls can do anything a boy can do. Actually, that's not true. And you do see transitioning females into males who take testosterone, who take steroids, and they can become kind of stronger, okay? But they're never changed their bone structure, all right? And true biological males will never be a biological female. And a biological female will never be a biological male. And so we put kids, instead of helping them to love themselves and their own bodies, which they are in, we put them through surgeries and give them hormonal treatments. And what gets me is they're doing this to children before they hit puberty.
Well, before you move on to the next segment, because I want to cover this just a little bit so that people can understand. It says there's your gender identity, okay, and then you have a gender expression, then you have your sex assigned at birth. I think that's a little bit, kind of creationistic, don't you? Assigned at birth. Yes, God assigns you a gender at birth, all right? Then you're physically attracted to and emotionally attracted to. Now, what really bothers me more than anything about this is the pointing out of this region with something right there, okay? That really bothers me because that's over-sexualizing children.
Right.
That is, peanut gallery, can you get the timer? But like Leah and I, we were talking about earlier, she mentioned the fact that, when I was a kid, and I don't know if we're going to talk about this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it. I really wanted to be a tomboy because my brother loved football. And I've mentioned that to you guys before.
And we had older cousins who we just admired.
Yeah.
And there were boys in our family.
So what this thing is going to do, you're going to have a child looking at this chart and they're going to say, well, I know what I was born as, but then as gender expression, as if I'm a girl, I kind of like football. And so then it's going to cause this seed of doubt. One tiny, tiny little seed of doubt.
There was a long list of girls who commented on this particular thing on Facebook. I saw no less than 100 girls who basically said, I was a tomboy, I had older brothers, I had older cousins, and I wanted to be like them. And there's a thing when you have older brothers, you just want to be like them because they're so cool. You know?
They get to play with Hot Wheels.
And I can see how that would happen for young males if you had a lot of sisters or you had some female interest in your, people in your life.
Right.
Then you might want to express yourself the way they are expressing themselves.
So as a child, what this is going to do is it's going to cause you to doubt.
She went around as Mitch.
I had a nickname. I
want to be
my
Mitch.
Fifth or sixth grade
She
year.
wasn't trying to be a boy. She was trying to be tough.
I just wanted to be tough. I was definitely attracted to boys, even in sixth grade. But I wanted to have my nickname be Mitch, and I was very tomboy-y. But I loved pink, and I loved to play with Barbies when I was a kid.
One woman I read said that she went through a whole kind of confusion. She was definitely a tomboy, and she's so glad that this wasn't around.
That's
because
the
she's
point.
married and she has kids, and she's like terrified that what if somebody had encouraged her in this direction?
Right.
I wasn't trans.
Right. Thank you.
That's
exactly
the whole
what we're
point.
getting at.
That's the whole point of this whole thing. If you don't take anything away,
Yes.
that's what this is about. It's about taking the people who maybe my cousins won't let their sons play with dolls because they're afraid of this, and I'm taking little boys who might want to, play with pink things or do things like that. Dress up is fun, and girls dress up, and boys dress up, and kids can just let them be kids.
Right.
Okay? Let them be kids. And this is putting an idea in their head and letting it take shape.
And especially if you take it as far as these young people like Jazz and this father, son, daughter, whatever.
Exactly, taking the hormones because
and it starts to change your body.
I want to take these hormones before I go in this direction, and
your body will start to develop through puberty, organs and things like that, like Leah was talking about. But if you suppress that, your body never has the chance to fully develop properly the way that it was supposed to. You can't go back from that.
This is Jazz. This and he. I don't want to offend anyone. Has a television show that started before she did the whole music and long hair thing. Okay, and the push-up bra. And I've seen clips of the show, and when he was a little boy, he just looked like a normal everyday boy. But now he is everywhere. The parents let him dress up and dressed him up in dresses. There's actually they have made a new transgender doll. So he is the first transgender doll. And there was some awards at the GLAAD Awards, and then you've got Caitlyn Jenner, and you've got Jazz, and so there's this whole thing, right? A big push to normalize something and to make people question it. So I want to get back to the story of the mom and the dad. Or the mom and the
son.
Mom and the
It's
son.
the mom and the son is what they are. I'm sorry. We're going biological on this one.
And there are a couple things that I'm going to say she for now.
She was a mother. She is a mother.
That really threw me.
This is her.
She said, I hated my long hair. I hated this. And I hated being pregnant. However, you can always cut your hair.
Yeah.
And you had 5 children. 5 children. There are ways not to have children. If you didn't like being pregnant, there's a way after this first one not to be pregnant. It's not in the water. Okay? Aliens don't come in despite what people think. So that shows me that she is not mentally sound. I didn't like my long hair. Do you know how many women I know who have short hair? Cut it off. I mean, that right there showed no...
Well, go right into... Skip ahead, though, for a minute. To where you were talking about how the son, when he was asked...
He has 4 sisters. Interestingly enough, he has 4 sisters, and so you can see that there might be something there as a little boy to want to be like his older sister.
Your point, when he was asked if he was going to miss his mother, now that his mother is turning into a father, he said...
I am so grateful for my mom going through this and becoming who she needs to be, but I'm going to miss her getting me all dressed up and doing my hair and curling it.
So what that means is, even if we can go that far, fine, okay, the mom loves to doll up the son as a girl, whatever, or he likes that, he wants to be a girl. What Lee and I were talking about is how strange it is now that this woman is transitioning to a man that she couldn't still help do his son, daughter's hair.
Let's
That
watch
doesn't
a
make
little
any sense.
Clip here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to delve into this. This is Eric Mason's own Facebook page.
This is the mother that's now turned into a
And
dude.
I wanted you to listen to some of the video that they did and draw your own conclusions. You will hear our
Playing it,
conclusions.
but like it wasn't all just, yeah, I'm a girl. It was, should I be a guy still? And it was just different. It was hard.
See
It was
that?
just mixed everything.
So
I mean, but at that age, I mean, could you even ask the question about whether you should be a girl? I mean, you were a
little
boy.
kid.
Yeah, I did sometimes, and I kind of kept it to myself.
While young Corey was struggling to understand who she was, her mother Erica had her own secret.
I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea why I hated my body so much. I had no idea why I felt so ashamed of my body.
And yet, look at photos of you and you're a very
did you hear the word where she said ashamed? Ashamed.
Right.
glamorous young woman.
Once I hit womanhood, I sort of started trying to play the part and dress as female as I could and present as feminine as I could to see if that would help me feel better about myself. And it never worked. I just felt like I was dressing up.
No way! Oh my gosh! No way! Oh my god!
With the help of hormones, Erica is now Eric. No longer a mother to a son, but a father to a daughter. He is in fact now a father to 5 daughters, and still happily married to husband of 10 years, Les.
This is a kicker.
I fell in love with the person. Shell. It's just that.
Do you accept, do you feel like you're now married to a man?
No. I feel like I'm married to the same person that I married. I'm just 10 years older.
And Erica is now Eric.
And that's fine.
Oh,
I don't know what else to say. I mean, that's really all there is to it.
Eric and Corey's
seems a
path
little
to
empty
becoming
there.
their true genders started by chance 4 years ago, and at the very same moment.
If you didn't know it, would you believe this 11-year-old girl was biologically a boy?
Catching this documentary on America's most celebrated transgender child, Jazz Jennings.
Are you a boy or a girl?
I am definitely a girl. Like, that's all I consider myself as.
I just, tears. Because it was like that light.
Mom watched the transgender show. Do you see where this is headed? She might have some problems upstairs.
Bulb exploded. And I was like, okay, that's the answer. This is me.
So a sense of relief?
The first feeling was relief. The second feeling was terror. Fear for what my future would hold. Fear for how my children and family would react. Fear for what the rest of my life was going to look like.
Girl brain and boy body.
The program also showed Corey exactly who she was.
And then I finally realized, I told my mom, I'm just like her. I'm a girl.
You had no doubt about it.
No.
And so from that
After-
moment in time, what were you convinced you should do?
Start changing what I looked like. I started growing out my hair. I started learning how to do makeup, wearing dresses.
And how did that feel doing?
I wasn't allowed to wear makeup until I was a teenager.
Right.
So a mom that would encourage any child to wear makeup at all
Right.
is pushing.
Well, Lee and I were talking about this earlier, and I find it very odd that makeup is kind of a relatively new thing. I mean, obviously the Egyptians kind of used to do the whatever, but really, by and large, there was not makeup. If you were a painted lady 100 years ago, there was a stigma there.
Makeup and long hair does not make one a girl.
Exactly, and dressing up doesn't exactly make
So these
one
are
a
3
girl.
misnomers. So take them all away. If you don't have makeup, if you don't have long hair, if you don't have dressing up in dresses, are you still a girl?
Right.
Nah.
It was amazing because I didn't know what it felt like until I tried all those things together and I looked in the mirror and I was a girl.
Makeup, long hair and dresses.
Do not make
not
a girl.
make you
There is so
a
much
girl.
more to it.
That shows me there's a mental.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of people that get married out of lust or you know what I mean? Just this physical attraction, and we just have this wonderful, chemistry, and we get married, and then all of a sudden there's no substance, and then you have a divorce because there was never real love and never a real understanding of what a relationship should be founded on, being friends first. And so I kind of correlate that here, where this is just all a physical
Which is so
thing.
interesting because feminists will tell you to cut your hair, don't wear makeup, be like a boy, you play the sports and stuff like that.
Right.
So you've got this weird dynamic.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like they're taking all the things that girly girl things kind of do for fluff,
Right.
and they're putting it on the boys and taking it's just weird.
And why does that make you emotional?
I don't know, it's just
You see this?
because it's the first time I realized that I was doing something I liked.
And so for all those years you'd been doing something that felt wrong.
And I wanted to make my parents proud of who I am, and I thought that they would not like me.
That must have been very frightening.
These are real emotions, so I'm not gonna
Discount that.
right.
Sorry.
It's okay. So how did your parents react?
They were very supportive. They would always, make sure that I was happy. Make sure I was safe, too.
How did they have to protect you?
From the strangers out there that didn't like me, telling me I should go kill myself, and
Obviously,
telling you
yeah.
That's so wrong.
I shouldn't
right.
belong on this earth, you don't have a place.
That's
Right.
terrible.
That is terrible.
She's so much happier now, and she's one to definitely keep her feelings in. So to hear her put them into words is pretty special for me to hear. What do you want to do for the Sweet 16?
I want to rent out a nice place.
Man or woman, Eric is foremost a parent, and so decided, despite her own life-changing revelation, to keep her true self secret. So all the focus and all the support could instead be on Corey,
You know what that is?
as she started on puberty blockers and female hormones.
You know what that is?
I was so excited. That was the happiest day of my life.
This person had already seen Jazz Jennings go through this.
It makes me feel complete. I can go out in the public and they'd be like, hey, that's a girl. They don't even know that I'm transgender. So what's for dinner?
Probably steak.
Coming later in life, Eric's transition has been an even more confronting journey. First, he had to tell Liz, convinced and frightened their marriage would be over.
We were watching a movie. It's about a transgender woman who in the end ends up dying, and I was sobbing uncontrollably. And he just hugged me, and I'm sorry. And I looked up at him, and I told him that I felt like I was a man trapped in a woman's body, and he said, I love you, and whatever we have to do to make this work, we will.
What was it like for you to hear those words?
Cried even harder, because it was completely unexpected. And not because he didn't love me, but because how do you ask a completely heterosexual man to still love you if you are now becoming a man? That's not fair.
I fell in love with the person. You've seen the pictures. She was beautiful as a woman, but equally beautiful inside. So long as, at the end, Eric is happy with the appearance. Eric will be happy with what's in her brain,
You see what
or
he's...
his brain, I'm sorry. This is,
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard.
well,
Go ahead, say something.
Well, you can see the conflict, and you can see how at home, I think, and I'm not trying to put words into their life, okay, because obviously I'm sure this is a relatively new transition for them, but I think that they kind of have made it work because he's still going to view her as a woman.
Right.
Regardless. And that's why he's okay with it.
Right.
Because he's not going to turn from a heterosexual man into a homosexual man. He's just not going to do that.
it's difficult to put it into words.
Eric is now putting into action what he's always wanted, turning to surgery to help him become a man, preparing to have both breasts removed, but not yet willing to have genital surgery.
My biggest area of dysphoria is my chest, because I guess that's what the world sees. You know, the world can't see inside my pants, so that's okay.
But you can. I mean, you can look in the mirror and you
Yeah,
still have a body that doesn't match your mind.
that's true. But I can live with it. I won't be 100% happy, but I'll be okay.
Having the breasts removed, it doesn't change the way I feel.
I know we're talking about very personal issues here now, but how does it affect your intimate moments? How does it affect your sex life?
It doesn't.
No. I mean, if the technology was more advanced and, there was bottom surgery, then that would affect our sex life. In all honesty, because I'm the one who's, the straight heterosexual guy. But we'd still be together.
You will now be seen to be in a gay relationship.
That doesn't, how society views me, my relationship, I don't care. They don't live in my house. Us and our children. We're the only ones that matter to me.
My whole life I always thought I was bisexual. I've had girlfriends, boyfriends, men or women. It just didn't matter. I just happened to fall in love with him and marry him. But if he was a woman, that would have been fine too. She says, wait a minute. If you're gonna be a boy, shouldn't we call you Dad?
2 dads.
So she ends up having her chest removed in the next episode, and in the next episode that's when the teenager girl boy is saying, I don't know about my mom, if she'll still do my hair, my makeup, and things like that. You can tell that there's obviously something going on in this person's mind.
Okay, so Leah and I, we want to wrap this up because we want to let you know there are answers in life. And unfortunately, what we have done as a society is we have made it wonderful to masculate women and to demasculate men. And what we're seeing here is an evidence of our entire society pushing that agenda. Okay, whereas if you're a woman, you need to be masculine and strong. And if you're a man, you're not allowed to be masculine and strong. You have to be feminine. And so really this is just kind of an example of what we're seeing has been pushed in our society for so many years. And the way that I view it is, where is Jesus? And I know we got some atheists on the show, and I'm just telling you, this is the answer. When you have an emotional instability and a question of what you should be, and you feel comfortable in your body, and you just listen, my heart breaks for you. It goes out to you, and I want to give you answers. But the problem is in society, because there's a push for this, over and over and over again, we heard Erica or Eric Mason, this young lady or old, whatever you want to call her, the mom, say, I watched this, I watched that, and it was an emotional pull on me and all this stuff. Whereas what should happen when you have this clash inside of you is you go to God and you go to Jesus and you get an answer to heal the emotional turmoil.
If she was raped or she's obviously a busty woman, if somebody did something to her to make her hate her body.
And that's a classic story over and over and over again.
I've talked to rape victims They hate their bodies.
Well, Lee and Michelle, why wouldn't they cover that on the story? Because they're not. Because that's not
the
something
angle.
that you. That's not the angle that they want to spin it as. They want to
If
say
she
this
was-
is a very natural.
I'm not
thing.
saying that all people who are transgender or whatever were molested. That's all I'm saying.
But
I
a
have
large
talked
majority of them
to
are.
molested people. I've talked to rape victims.
Right.
The number one thing that makes you do is hate your body. If I wasn't a girl or a boy,
Right.
then this wouldn't have happened to me.
Right, and 1 + 1 = 2 every time. And so when you have a situation like this where it seems completely out of the ordinary that you would have a mother and a son both wanting to transition and all this stuff,
And they're all watching at the same time.
What you have is an emotionally unstable,
Mom.
unsure mom where she said she was bisexual her whole life, passing that on to her son. That's all this
See
is.
how much she
Unfortunately.
loves him and how proud she is. They're now a group. They're now a
No,
team.
exactly.
And she's so proud of
Milo
him.
Yiannopoulos, who is homosexual, will tell you it is either nature or nurture. And this is a classic case of nurture where this has been nurtured into this little boy. And having seen all of these things with Jazz and all these things that the mother was watching,
Transgender, unicorn.
it's going to pull out all of this, all of these emotions.
Might
to
even
a
question.
child.
I don't know. Maybe some of you question.
Right,
Yourself.
exactly.
It's also
Peanut
a
gallery.
globalist agenda to make everybody neutral
Right.
for workers. They want workers. They want slaves.
They don't really care. The globalist agenda
and so you gotta
is
mess up their sexuality.
we don't care about your gender. We can have completely, genderless people. We just want you to be a good worker.
And that's what the idea of the unicorn is. And this isn't the last episode. You can, if you want more, we are going to do like 2 more on this. Where those who are transgender want a genderless society.
Right.
Even in Sweden, they have taken a step to not do he and she and to say hen
No, they've got that here too.
and theys, and I mean like really in the
Right.
public schools.
I know they've got it here too.
Oh, dear God. So anyways, we're gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna cover up a couple more. We're gonna go to transgender frogs.
And if you guys have stuck with us this long, I beg of you, in the comment section, please do not leave vulgar comments like this young little girl was saying. People were telling me that I shouldn't be on the face of the planet, that I shouldn't be alive.
Go ahead and voice your opinion, but don't do it in such a way that it would be vulgar
or mean or offensive. That is not the answer. Jesus is the answer to this problem. God is the answer to this problem. Emotional healing is the answer to this problem. These are not Islamic terrorists, guys.
So tell us what you think. Try to be as magnanimous as possible, but still, go ahead, leave some comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us.
I think there's going to be 2 sides on both of this. I think we're going to have people that are, staunchly for, staunchly against. I think there's not going to be too many people down the middle on this. So, all right, you guys, this is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance
Where it's
Chicks.
not a conspiracy theory if it's a transgender mom and son.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications and find us on Facebook and Twitter, Resistance Chicks without the K. We love you guys. God bless.
I was called